We are live, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Virtual Cantina Watch Along. For episode 2, the Book of Boba Fett. I am Spencer. I'm your host for tonight. Once again, I'm with Dave. Dave, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing well, Spencer. Excited about tonight.
And so am I. And I could not be happier to welcome back our good friend Chris Bartlett to the Virtual Cantina. Chris, welcome back.
Thanks so much, Spencer and Dave. It's great to be back.
So it's, anybody who's been around with our Virtual Cantina watch along before, if you got questions for Chris, please put it into the chat and we will ask it as we are watching episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm going to start off with the first question tonight, Chris. How does it feel to be the resident droid for the Filoniverse?
Wow. I hope that's not overstating it. I am so grateful to be part of this galaxy and to be working with Dave and John. They've been so gracious and generous to me. Anyway, they're so much fun to be working with. But I will tell you, just like you can imagine, Spencer, it's a dream come true. Like I've been preparing my whole life for this. I didn't know if it would be droids, but I'm grateful for that because I love them and I have a very particular set of skills, I guess. And so I'm grateful to be part of it.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. And I know that, I haven't seen you at Rhode Island, but seeing a lot of our other members meeting up with you in other cities around the country. It's been nice to see such a close-knit Mando community, even within the performers, traveling together and being able to, to tell the story of, the work you guys are doing. So it's been absolutely fantastic. How's that been for you?
Well, it's humbling to be included in this range of performers. I'm working with Carl Weathers and have been on a panel with Giancarlo and then Emily Swallow and I become good friends and also Leilani and Ariel, the Jawas.
Yes.
And also Barry Lowen, who plays also plays Mandalorian. And so it's just not only humbling, but it's so warm and sweet to be with these super talented performers and actors. So I'm so grateful that people are enjoying the show. Not only Mandalorian, but I can't wait to meet people who are fans of the Book of Boba Fett because I'll say that you may have already seen a couple of credits on the show, and so just stay tuned. It's there's plenty more to see, and I can't wait to talk about it with people, at conventions and in their costumes. My favorite is when they come in with their costumes, because that is really was the start for me for acting, I think. And so anyway, please, anytime you come to convention, please bring your costume. There you go. Nice, Dave. Look how cool Dave looks. I mean, Dave, you look pretty amazing with that beard extending below the helmet. That's pretty cool. So
we need Tate to get that.
Spoiler alert, that's going to be, season 3 with Din right there.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, Tate, yeah, that you mentioned Tate as well. I've become good friends with Tate. He is an amazing big guy who has an even bigger heart. It's just such a very sweet guy. And I think recently he shaved, so he doesn't have the beard anymore. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I have to say that last week we had Leilani and Ariel on the show, and they couldn't stop talking about how much they loved spending time with you, at the sets, at that one show, and they couldn't stop talking how great you are. So I totally agree with that.
They have the what you would imagine is Jawa energy. I mean, they are, every time I see them, when I see them on set, because we never know really if we're going to be on set at the same time.
Sure.
And so when we see each other, they're just like, wow. I mean, all day they are just, even from the first shot to the last shot, they are solid Jawa energy. And I know they play other characters too, but I know they're known for their Jawas. And I mean, they're laughing and they're so warm and full of hugs, and they're just such a great couple of talented performers. And then also, you know, Misty, I don't know if you've had her on, but she also, I traveled with her and become dear friends with Misty Rosas, who plays
and this is how Spencer's internet is going to go for the evening. Get prepared now. This is usual.
It looks like his joints are almost frozen.
Yeah, sit right there. He's a droid that needs like the oil.
Oh, there's a lot of pictures of me looking like I'm in carbonite.
Okay, so sorry. I was talking about Misty, and then you were making a point.
Oh no, I was just saying that Misty has been on our show before for season 1. Unfortunately, we're not able to get her on for season 2 to talk about Frog Lady, but definitely love chatting with Misty anytime we can as well.
Yeah, and she become good friends with her too, and she, you know, she's a incredible not only actor but also creature performer going back to the 90s. I mean, she has was such an example to me, and it continues to be, and not only just as a performer but as a person, you know, just a real sweet spirit about her, but also strength, you know, and anyway, I just really love her. She's great as well.
So what was it like when you got the call that you were going to be on the next show, not just Mandalorian, but you were going to be on Fett?
I didn't know it was on Boba Fett. I just thought it was Mandalorian season 3, you know, because we had finished season 2, but the episodes where Tamura returns had not aired, and they had kept that super hush hush. So I didn't even know Boba Fett was coming to the Mandalorian. You know, they keep it so tight. We keep it so tight. I didn't, you know, you basically get the stuff that pertains to you.
Sure. And
if Tamura is not in your stuff, then you wouldn't know about that. Right. So getting the call was, oh, we're going back to, we're great. Another season. That's great. But that was it. Until the first day of filming, that was a totally different day, different experience.
The Shoe Girls were telling us stories last week about how they were all dressed up. They didn't even realize they were really Jawas until they started seeing things. They saw the child and they're like, wait a minute, are we in a Star Wars show? Like, that's pretty incredible that they're able to keep it that closed off.
Right. Now, if we're talking about, are we talking about Mandalorian or Boba Fett?
Mandalorian. I mean, yes. So
I knew first. Yeah, I knew from the beginning it was Mandalorian because I went in for a screen test and costume fitting as Zero, you know, Q90. So I knew that it was going to be the Mandalorian, the new Star Wars show, but that was the only Star Wars show. So I was just, you know, they told me what it was for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boba Fett, totally different.
Oh, totally different feel, but it's absolutely fantastic. And I just want to remind everybody that we're going to be watching episode 2, The Tribes of Tattooine. What a fantastic episode. I mean, I was up at 3:00 in the morning Eastern time because I didn't want to wake up to spoilers. I could sleep in on Marvel shows, but Star Wars shows, no, I'm up at 3:00 in the morning because I don't want to get that. But if you have any questions for Chris, you know, please put it in the chat. Also, I want to remind everybody, Dave, why don't you talk about what's available on the Virtual Cantina Network, which features a couple of things with Chris on it.
So once we're done here on the Facebook Live, if you can't watch it all live with us, we will have this episode, this watch along, on our YouTube channel, the Virtual Cantina Network, which is just youtube.com/the Virtual Cantina Network. So we have this show, we have past watch-alongs, we have, if you missed last week's episode 1 with the Shoe Girls that we've been referencing, that is up. You can watch that there. You can also watch a plethora of other shows that we have. We have unboxings because our members get stuff on a daily basis and just randomness. We will open that up for you so you can see. We'll do reviews. There are our other shows, weekly shows. We have the Jedi Archives, where we're going through the High Republic comic books series. We have the Unifying Force, which this week will be dealing with becoming one with the Force, death, dying, and the rituals surrounding that in the Star Wars universe.
That's the show I was telling you about at Rhode Island, Chris, about the philosophies and.
Yes, I would love to hear more about that.
So you can check that out on the Virtual Cantina Network. I think we're on 15 episodes, somewhere like that.
Yeah, currently around there.
Wow.
So, and also, as we mentioned before, past watch-alongs from when we did season 1 of Mandalorian, including the episode that we watched with Chris, and also the episode we watched with Chris and Dominic Pace are available up on our YouTube page, so please check it out. Also, once again, if you
shout out real quick to Tim Drews, who just subscribed to the channel. I hope you're watching this, and that's why you subscribed to the channel. And I think, Chris, I saw that you subscribed to the channel earlier, maybe.
Of course, right.
There you go.
I couldn't believe
I'm watching these things.
I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed. I was just watching them, and I didn't realize. So anyway, yes, subscribe to the channel.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you on there. And we have our first question from our group for our member, John. How did production compare from Fett to Mando? Was there any significant differences?
It's all the same people, so it wasn't any different. The only difference was we didn't know it was Boba Fett until, the first day of filming. I sit down, Ming sits down next to me, and there's another chair over there, and I see Tamura Morrison walking toward me in the dark Boba Fett costume, and I was like, what? Because all I've seen is Mandalorian. I had no idea we were even doing anything with Boba Fett. And I see him walking toward me in the kind of like the robe skirt, and I was like, what? Oh, wow. Okay. So Boba Fett or I didn't know if it was Boba Fett or if it was, a clone, or if it was some flashback with Django or something. I couldn't figure it out. And then they're like, okay, Chris, why don't you head to set? And so I walked down those stairs that are legendary in original trilogy, watchers, fans' minds. I walked down the steps and I'm down in Jabba's palace, and it's built all the way around 360. Wow. There's no blank.
That was practical?
Yes, it's not the volume. It's all practical. And so I walked down there, and then there's Tamura sitting on a throne, and he's wearing the helmet. And I was like, what is, of course, I'm like, keep it cool, Chris. But in my mind, my emotions are exploding. Like, yeah, what's behind Dave right there? That's what I saw. And I was like, I never imagined this is what we would be doing. Also, what does this mean? Anyway, so then as the day went on, they were like, oh, this is a Boba Fett series. And I was like, oh, wow, you guys really kept that one under wraps. I had no idea. And they're like, yeah, we didn't want anyone to know. So everyone's confused. Everyone thought it was Mandalorian season 3.
Well, before we ask this question, I just want to let you know that Leilani is in the chat right now.
Leilani, hello. Love Leilani. She's awesome and always has the best Jawa hugs.
That's incredible.
Yes,
but so just a recap of episode 1. Mm-hmm. You got to play UK2B who was the torture droid in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, little correction.
Okay.
Little correction there. I did not. The torture droid was puppeteered by Legacy Effects puppeteers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was also in the room. I played the junk droid that walked the Gomorian Guards in.
Okay.
You know, so
yes, I knew that.
I don't know. I don't know the names of. I don't know the names of droids. We don't know them until we see them either, and as a credit, or what. But anyway, so I played the junk droid, and that was just the introduction to my experience here on the series.
How did it feel being like? How was the outfit for the junk droid versus, let's just say, Zero?
Zero, I had no pants, so I was just wearing.
Has no pants. That's like
right,
a character.
Right. Yes. But this one was very, very comfortable from the forehead down. From the forehead up, the helmet, which is it looks like a miner's helmet with a headlight in the middle.
Right.
There's something that there were knobs in there or something that if you wear it just tilted to one way or the other, it feels like knuckles are going into your forehead and like pressing really hard. And we couldn't figure it out until like end of the day. Someone was just like, boop, like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, 100% better. But anyway, the rest of it was all super comfortable. It was just like slid on, one big shirt, you know, zips in the back. The pants were like leather pants, not like C-3PO or not like
you know, Brett
the,
Michaels leather pants. Like,
yeah, they were like a patchwork leather pants that you might have seen in like, I don't know, late 70s or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the screws in the head there, remind me of Anthony Daniels' original 3PO outfit when he would, you know, be like bolted in there. So
yeah, I wasn't bolted in. It was just put on, and they had a fiberglass skull cap in there that was just had some bumps in it. But anyway, the whole costume was really comfortable, you know, until we figured that part out, and then it was the whole thing. It was fine. Yeah.
So once again, we're on with our friend Chris Bartlett. We're gonna be watching episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. Another thing that I'm absolutely loving about this is that we're filling in the gaps. We're not just seeing, I mean, you know, what is happening currently, but as we saw in episode 1, we got to see what happened at the time of Jedi, like with him escaping from the Sarlacc pit, and you know, see that. I mean, that to me, that escape was directly out of the comic book, which was I was excited about that. But it's so nice and refreshing that you know, you've been a Star Wars fan for forever, and seeing like these stories being like, you know, you're embellished upon and questions being answered. I mean, how's that feel? Not just being you know, in the show, but also getting to see those, you know, the gaps being filled in.
Well, I was 7 years old when I saw A New Hope in the theater, and when I was filming for Boba Fett, and I was filming a character that we've not, a character that appeared in one of the previews, one of the ads. One of the trailers that came up. It was it's a silver droid that's caught up in traffic. He looks like a protocol droid that is being spun around by a speeder going by. I was filming that day with my wife Rachel, was there dressing me, and we took a break to go take some photos for Lucasfilm. And while we were walking over there, I see Tamora. Now, again, the second big reveal, Tamura is walking by and he's wearing his Return of the Jedi jumpsuit, the light gray jumpsuit with no armor on it, and his head is all scarred and everything. And I was like, I realized at that moment we were going to have a flashback, and I think fans are really going to love it, to be able to see what happened to Boba, you know, what happened when, you know, after that moment, you know, and I was really hoping we were going to be able to see how he survived the Sarlacc pit. So when we saw him, you know, bust out of the sand there, covered in sand there, right outside the pit of Carcoon, it was really awesome because I got to see it as a fan. I didn't know that was how they were going to do it, but it was fun to see it.
It was great also see not only the wreckage from the sail barge, as well as the large tentacle that Han shot.
Oh yeah.
Jedi. So it's nice little like Easter eggs if you're looking for it. It's like, wow.
Oh, there's so many of these. There's so many of these throughout the season of Easter eggs that original trilogy fans will be like, oh, that's the thing and that's the guy or whatever. Or fans, even I'm gonna go deep now. Fans of original Ralph McQuarrie art, they're gonna also have this really happy moment because even in episode 2 here, we're gonna see something that was pulled directly from a Ralph McQuarrie concept painting with the Tuscans.
That's fantastic.
And even you've got your casual fans just who may have just visited Batuu or visited, you know, any of the Disney parks and been on Star Tours. They're like, ooh, that little droid, I know that guy.
It's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff for everybody.
Yes.
So here's a question. As someone who lived the 80s, how was Jennifer Beals to work with? If you had any.
Oh my gosh. I was hoping you would ask this. I didn't even know it was her. I didn't see Flashdance as a kid. I would have been like 13 probably. I don't know.
Well, that would have been the right time to watch Flashdance.
Probably, maybe, but no. Anyway, but I knew who she was, but when I was on set, I knew she looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. And she was like a golden statue. She was so tall. Not only was she, I think, wearing tall shoes, but also with the Liku, she looked like a magnificent statue. You know, she just looked amazing. And she's super, super nice and super humble about like, hey, could I take a picture of that? You know, like there's, you know, really 99.5% people on set are not allowed to take pictures. But anyway, I think she might have been able to, but she was just very sweet. Let's see. I will say that you're going to see a hint of my character tonight. I work for her in Garza's sanctuary there, and I continue to work for her. So it's going to go by kind of quick tonight, but it's a character to look forward to.
Excellent.
Yeah. But anyway, she was very cool. There was a lot of people in that scene, but she was very cool. It was such a fun surprise when I realized it was Jennifer Beals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just before we start, one question actually from our group: how was it to work with Robert Rodriguez?
Oh my gosh. Well, my wife Rachel knows this as well because on the day that we did this one filming of that character from the trailer, the protocol droid that was he's super dirty, kind of silver, and he gets spun around by some traffic. He just came over and was talking about the costume with me and Rachel, and we were just nerding out about Star Wars. I mean, about droids and about costumes and look how cool the eyes look. And he was just like your next door neighbor, just like your Facebook friend. I mean, he was super low key and just having fun talking about this stuff. And then when it comes to getting to work, he has some specific things that he would like to see, you know, but he lets you try the things that you want to try, you know. So we're just like, okay, let's go, let's try this. Anyway, so then, you know, he'll give you a little direction, and we try some different things. But yeah, he was super nice to work with, because he loves Star Wars just like I love it, just like you love it. So it's really a pleasure to work with someone like that, and to work with him, because we're all just having fun and playing pretend like we've been preparing our whole lives.
So our mutual friend Mary Carr
Oh, yes, I know. Love Mary.
loves to tell stories of Robert and his guitar. Do you have any good stories about that?
The day that we were filming this scene that we're going to see in episode 2, I play a droid, a server droid, Silver, and then at the end of the day, you know, you'll also see well, it's in a cantina, so there's got to be a band, right? So at the end of the day, we wrap, okay, we've done filming, Robert gets up there with his guitar, and Tamura came over, I believe, and he had a guitar, and so they were both playing, and they were just jamming out, and all of us gathered around the stage, and it was like this little pub that we were in a real Star Wars universe. It's just so weird to explain it, because it was so, it was like when you go to a pub and you listen to a cool band that you've been wanting to see, and they're playing, and it's super intimate, and the lights are down, and there's real instruments, of course, and they're playing, and everyone's cheering and stuff. It was just like that, only it was in Star Wars with the director Robert Rodriguez and Tamura Morrison, and they're actually playing real instruments. It was totally unexpected and a really fun surprise. But yeah, Mary was there, and I become good friends with Mary, because so many of my characters ran in front of her as she handled the photography for or produced the photography for all of the licensed characters. So it was really fun to see her. It was always a fun surprise to see her on set.
I am just so hoping that somebody filmed that for like the
I'm sure the cameras are always rolling. So
yeah, I want to see Boba Fett jamming with the Max Rebo band. That needs to happen. We need to...
Yes, right. I'm sure in the behind the scenes, maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Don't quote me, but the cameras are always rolling. So I hope that does make it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, once again, we're about to start episode 2 in a second with our friend here, Chris Bartlett. So let's start with the hopefully everybody has D+ all queued up.
Do we start before the logo?
Before the Disney logo? At the Disney logo. All right. And just a reminder, just keeping the volume down just a tad bit so we don't get booted off of Facebook.
Of course.
Oh yes.
Let me know.
It's funny because it's not funny, but we went through the entire movie catalog, and we got to Rise of Skywalker, and that's when we got booted. It was because one of our TVs was on too loud.
Oh, so, wow.
Happens.
Now, are you going to give us a countdown?
Yes, sir. We're going to do a 10-second countdown. We're going to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me start with the flashback of the fist.
Yes, nobody skip the recap. Watch the recap.
Okay.
I also love the fact that we got, I guess, a remix version of the Cantina theme in episode 1.
Yes, yeah. That was such a nice touch.
And the other question we had, you're saying, I'm sorry?
Oh no, I love the actor who plays the mayor's major domo. I have to go back and check his name, but he was so funny on set to watch him play this character, because it was like all of us were being serious. Everyone was playing serious characters, and you could tell by his dialogue, it was so subtly, meant to be. I don't know. It was just really funny, and he's a well-known comedic actor. Anyway, I loved watching him perform.
That was great. But the one thing we were all wondering last episode was, so did Bib Fortuna and Max Rebo like jump off the sail barge after Jedi? Like, like what happened?
There was an escape pod.
Oh, yes.
Right. There's always an escape pod, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
That's okay.
Here we are watching the little bitty thing going again. Just gives you the level of scale of how ominous this place is.
Right. That big door on Jabba's palace that we remember R2 and 3PO walking up to in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but we need a Bowman Monk to be like crawling behind them, just like Jedi. How is Ming Na?
Oh my gosh, she's so nice. And she's a huge Star Wars nerd as well. But she's totally there for it. Okay, right here, this scene, I walk down those stairs and see this scene of Tamura and Ming sitting on the throne, and I'm like, wait, what show is this? It was incredible.
You have been transported back to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, what? Where are we in the timeline of everything? But so okay, these two, the Gomorian Guards, are played by two fighters, Trigg and
Frank.
Frank Trigg, right?
Yeah.
And oh nuts, I'm so sorry. Frank Trigg and his name escapes me. But anyway, what was funny about working with them was, first of all, they're in big suits, right? They're in big rubber suits. And one of them, the little skirt kept falling off. So if you've never seen a Gomorian Guard with no in a Speedo. That's what it looked like. And I stopped laughing and I feel bad now because they're these really super talented stuntmen, and I felt bad, but I was just giggling the whole time because it just kept falling off, and it just, you see green Gomorian buns. It's hilarious.
This scene is so awesome, the way they played it.
Yes.
The detail, knowing that there's no Rancor in there.
The Rancor pit.
Yeah. And the pit, and you see a little mouse coming, but you see maybe even the stone that Luke threw, and maybe one of the bones. It's like wow.
And now, what did you think? What did you think, Spencer, when you saw him, when she said we're going to feed you the Rancor and he dropped down there? What did you think?
I thought it was going to be Moochie from the Bad Batch.
That was exactly what I thought.
Oh, funny. I was like, wait, did they screw up? What? There couldn't be a Rancor. The Rancor's dead. And then when the door's opening and it's all empty, I'm like, oh, she got him. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Right. So we're going to the mayor's right now. Trandoshans right there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
The streets of Mos Espa, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank Trigg.
I'm loving
Colin
this.
Himes as the Gomorian Guards.
Colin Himes. Thank you. Yes. Colin Himes.
I'm loving the fact we're seeing Mos Espa, because especially after season 2 Mando, we saw Mos Pelos. So we're seeing all the settlements of Tatooine, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Right.
Oh, and you notice that the painting above the entrance to the sanctuary is the same on top of the Lars dining room as well in New Hope.
Right. I don't know if it is letter for letter, but yeah, it does look like it's the same call out.
The mayor's going to get around to painting that one day.
Yes. Okay, so I was watching this episode and I had to go to IMDb and see, it was a guy named Galen Howard who's playing basically the maitre d'. And I kept on thinking of the scene in Ferris Bueller of the maitre d', like the whole entire time. And the way he was playing it too, so straight faced, but it was so humorous. It's awesome. I don't see your name on the schedule. It's like, oh.
Right.
And there's your friend.
Yes, right. Hang on a second. That is played by
He's so pompous. It's awesome.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. Nope. This is restricted. No, and Boba has no problem just walking in.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see the mayor, who is a hammerhead type character.
So how much of that is practical? How much of that is CG?
I don't know. I wasn't there
Okay.
on that day when they were filming, but I love the idea of pulled from the Clone Wars, I think, where he has a translation
Yes.
device. So you hear his low grumbling, and then it translates into an English voice. I thought that was really cool, but I think this is practical and being puppeteered.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Robert Rodriguez has done voice or practical in these last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see that he's getting involved in the action too.
Oh yeah, he's just like, if you were, just imagine, Spencer, if you were being called up to direct one of the Star Wars episodes, you'd be like, I want to get in this. I want to be in this. I want to be one of the characters or voice something. Yeah, we're all the same way, including Robert.
Yeah, I'll just do a walk on. I don't care.
Right.
It could be voluptuous Spencer, the X-wing fighter pilot.
No, we don't want to talk about him.
Okay.
We don't need to show Chris the variants. It's okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, we do so as much as we possibly can. We do practical on this show, on these shows. So you should always assume that it's practical until maybe it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I love it. I mean,
6 levels of impossible.
Yes, yeah. So something he says here is very interesting. Running a family is more difficult than bounty hunting. And remember, in Mandalorian, bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Yeah. So I saw that. I was listening to that. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah.
Right. Running a family. I don't know exactly what he means, what the mayor means here, but you may be in a mafia kind of way. All right.
That's
now we're going into Garza's sanctuary. So you'll see me, I'm in the back. You'll see me taking orders from, and I'm a silver droid. So you'll see.
And there's Leilani.
And there's Max Rebo Band. And there I am, right?
Oh, I saw it. Yep.
Okay.
Like sitting at the gold or standing at the gold podium there.
Yes, right. I was taking orders, right, off of, and look at Jennifer Beals. She looks so cool.
Kind of looks like the teacher from when you were in Mando. A little bit.
Oh, the droid?
Yeah.
Well, protocol droids all kind of look the same, but it has a different design on the face, which you will see better later.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
I saw a Mustafa reference.
Right.
And I love how Tamora's, the back to treatments are doing better. He gets to be less crusty as the season goes on. He's now supple and
Nice. The
one thing we noticed is that his eyebrows came back during the trailer before we said, like, okay, so something has to be happening. So yeah.
So now we hear the drums, right?
Yes.
Nobody knows what that is. Well,
and when they mentioned the twins, everybody's like, okay, is it the twins from?
Yeah, exactly.
From from A New Hope or?
Yeah, twins. What are we talking about? This scene is so awesome. He walks out to the streets and there's this float coming around the corner.
I felt so bad for the litter. Like I was wondering, I was like,
I love how Bodhi is in the middle.
Well, they talked about it in season 1, and I'm like, they said, Jabba used to go around. I'm like, God, how'd they do that? I was like, maybe they have it levitated, like Yoda had a pod,
right?
But no,
there's Leilani.
Yeah.
And
what's going on, Dominic? May the force be with you. Sorry,
hey, Dominic.
Dominic Pace.
Okay, the twins. What were they? They were the niece and nephew or cousins.
Cousins.
Of Jabba?
Cousins of Jabba.
Right. And see how gross they are, like how they have like we already know that they're gross, creatures. But see how they have this like super like uncomfortably familiar pose, how they're like reclining on each other.
Wrapped around
Yeah.
each other.
So creepy and gross. Yeah. Yeah.
Who voiced it then? Because I have not been able to research that.
I don't know, but it sounded so good. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Black K.
Yes. Look how amazing he looks. Gosh, he looks so good.
So a question from the chat earlier is, did you see this actor? Is this a super tall actor like Eunice and Peter, or?
He's a very tall actor. Yes. Yeah. And you'll have to maybe put out an invite to him to see if he wants to come on and let him tell his story. But yes, he was so cool. But this is the
Has it been announced? It hasn't been announced yet who he's playing. Who is it?
I don't know. I did get to see the actor who played him, but I didn't see him filming his scenes. So this is the most I've been able to see him, and he looks so cool. And look at him.
Very much. Very cool, very imposing. And then Ming Na is just like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
I wonder if we're ever gonna see Afra, because they were connected in the comic book.
Right. Yeah.
The subtle acting in this is really cool. Just all the litter bearers just kind of shuffling and like,
yeah. Yeah. But I love the voices of the twins. They sound so good. I
love it. It looks almost like one has a piercing and it looks like the other on his lip.
Now look at Black K when he turns around to look at Boba one more time. Look at him right here. This is so cool.
It's like the people's eye.
Look at him. Awesome. Oh, just keep going. I just wanted that scene to last like 10 more minutes. It was so cool.
Yes. Secretly, the actor inside of the Black K is Dwayne Johnson. No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yes. Hopes that we will see more of him.
Yes.
I think the twins gave us that impression that we will be seeing more of them. So hopefully he is in tow.
I'm just looking here. He's not credited yet.
More about
that's what I was looking at the
IMDb
as well. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. IMDb is always, sometimes it's days behind, sometimes it's weeks behind. So we're back to the flashback with Boba training with the Tuskens.
I'm sorry, I got a real big Spaceballs vibe when I saw the comb.
Yeah, right.
To go, we ain't found shit.
Yeah. I love how rough this Tusken is with him. Like they're still monsters, they're still, this is the reputation they have, is that they're, brutal, either warriors or that they're, they walk like men, but they're monsters, they have a roughness to them that is really cool here.
They do, but I love how we're getting more about their culture. They're starting to give us kind of a Dances with Wolves, Native American.
Totally. Yes. Dances with Wolves. That's a great reference.
It really is.
The white man with the among the natives, if you want to say it that way. That's totally, I feel like what we're seeing.
So what's your connection to Tuskens, Chris? I'm looking over your shoulder at that really cool mannequin right there.
Oh yeah, it's just a Tusken I built. I built it probably 2006 or something. And I just really like Tuscans. And now, because on the day that I saw Tamura in this suit, I also saw the Tuscan King or Tuscan Chief, I think he's called.
Mm.
Anyway, and he took off his helmet, and I was like, oh, cool. He's gonna be someone cool. So I love that there's different tribes of Tuscans. So they don't all look like in the tan coloring.
Well, that suit looks really. You
I
did
love
an
that.
amazing job. It's
I
really.
love the fact that we're
You like
getting different.
sneak up on set
different
with
looks.
that and just like show up in the background, just like.
I've always got one or more costumes with me that I'm already bringing that day. But if I had another, I just don't have time to put on more than what I'm there to do that day. But yes, that'd be fun. So looking off at
once again, we're on with Chris Bartlett. Thank you all 20 who are joining with us right now. We are at a timestamp of 17:10 for those who are watching with us. And hello, nice Solo reference Easter egg right there with the train. That makes me very happy. I love Solo.
Yeah, also reference to old Western, train robbery films, scenes, and that it really gets into it here. And I think it's so cool to put a Star Wars spin on this.
Oh, absolutely. It's been done everywhere, and it gave me a really kind of Firefly vibe. Train robbery from there, but
yeah. But the stunts and the fighting in this are really well done too. They're fast. They have like a really quick energy to them. Look at Boba realizes he has something.
I don't think it's Jimmy Kimmel's son. I know he's a Kimmel, but I don't think he's Jimmy's son, Jeff. One of this.
What's that?
I wonder if I thought he was Lateef Crowler, who was one of the doubles for Mando.
Yeah, Lateef.
I believe I think he's one of the Tuscans as well. I know he did a lot of stunts for this episode as well.
Yeah, he did, and he is the number one. I mean, he's so good and so cool. Like his fighting and his training. I keep up with him on Instagram and follow his updates. He's such a cool guy, and just really disciplined and hardworking to make these stunts and this fighting look really realistic.
Yeah, and Bryce, they're saying in the chat, did anyone think from the initial sound that it wasn't going to be a train, it was going to be a crate? And yeah, I thought.
I thought that too. I thought it was going to be that sound that we hear in the special edition of Obi-Wan mimicking the crate dragon. I was like, oh, is it like a baby or what is it? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very, very, very,
very, very
about
crazy.
The next scene that's going to be coming up soon.
You're very what?
Considering I'm excited about the next scene that's going to be coming up shortly.
Okay.
Takes a deleted scene from A New Hope and brings it what everybody's been waiting to see for a long time. We're going to see Tashi Station.
Is it Tashi or is it Anchorhead?
See, I was not.
They did some. There's Cammy and Fixer.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene from A New Hope where they went to Anchorhead and he saw Biggs there. I don't know how close Tashi Station is to Anchorhead. Maybe this is Tashi Station at Anchorhead. I don't know.
Bryce is saying it was confirmed it was Tashi Station.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Cammy and Fixer, and it is Tashi Station. I don't know where he found that, but Bryce finds things that many of us don't.
Great. Good.
So yeah, that's always.
Fixer
They need
stand
power
up
converters though.
to the biker gang.
We're getting a lot more of these just kind of electro pain sticks in this show. We got that in the first episode with the whole crew with the shields, and we get these guys using them.
Different technology. Boba enters the station armed with only a rifle and a gaffy club.
Yeah.
A training club.
Oh yeah, Scooby says that it told us it was Tashi Station in the audio description.
Oh, cool.
That turned
Very cool. Okay.
It also reminds me, if you remember an episode, chapter 9, The Marshal, when you see Cobb Vanth go back into the cantina.
Boba fighting here is so cool. He's so brutal.
And you just see how quickly he's mastered the gaffy.
Yeah.
Oh, one pane of glass in the place, and he throws somebody through it.
Yeah.
It is a Western now.
Exactly. Right. This is so Western, so cool.
Yeah, you almost want to hear that, like, Clint Eastwood whistle.
Yeah, right. And then they're outside the biker bar. There's all the speeder bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just sitting here. Is he gonna take them? Is he gonna put it like an Arnold? Is he gonna just knock them all down?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then you see the rope, and you're like, "Oh, did he take 2? Oh no, he took all of them." This is so great. And of course, they think it's a group of bikers coming back.
I like how they have the Mastiffs, like the little dog characters. Like,
they look so good, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tuskens realize it's Boba coming back.
Yeah, it's just that they've got like interesting levels of technology to begin with. Yeah, they've got these old decrepit rifles. They have the binoculars, but just basically nothing else.
Yeah, no machines. And it is meant to be, like you mentioned, Dances with Wolves. It is supposed to be referencing, who you might call the natives of the region with a visitor from a more advanced world.
Now, would you think these are more like nomadic Tuskens? I mean, you don't have like the clay huts like they had in in Attack of the Clones that Anakin destroyed, but it's more like a TP-esque type of
because
homestead.
Yeah, I love the design of these too. It looks really cool. It's so different. I think it's been suggested that the Tuskens have been moved off of their ancestral lands, that by the moisture settlers and moisture farmers and stuff. And so they're, they have to be kind of temporary. I don't know. That's just a guess. Anyway,
Sure.
Would have been so fun.
Great scene.
So it would have been so fun to be one of these Tuskens here in this scene with the speeder bike and Boba.
Well, and it's kind of almost the first guy that tries is kind of harkens back to Jedi when, the Ewoks just go.
Yeah, right. Can I try this? Sure, go ahead.
This is so humorous.
Yes, right.
3, 2,
and the first
1.
time you try it goes backwards really fast. Yeah.
that a car or anything like that, they either go too fast, too forward, or too fast,
can't get the gears right.
Going back.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Down in the sand.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we see a little bit more about the Tuskens, and I'm sure we will as his journey moves on. But and how maybe they've been displaced or whatnot. Because I know in the Kenobi audio drama or whatever it is, they were displaced and living in caves and this and that, and eventually started
Right.
getting their own moisture machines and doodahs. But
Right. But
we may discover there's multiple tribes, one that does that, one that does this, one that does.
Well, and they mentioned that in the Tuscans mentioned that in this episode, that there are other clans that are more that are, I don't know, more brutal than others. But the visual of a Tuscan riding a speeder bike is so cool. I mean, like his cape flowing in the background, and then just a bunch of them. It looks like they're already scary, but now they're on speeder bikes, and it's so cool.
And hopping from one to the other, and
right. That was great. So
yeah, I think this is super fun to see so much more of this people, and I can't imagine we won't see more in Kenobi. Is if he's living on Tatooine, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. I love seeing the kid Tuscans. Oh, there's the guy with the beachcomb again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Boba's training again with the this warrior. Oh man, this Tuscan with a long wraps, Oh, and then he catches it. So cool. Oh man, that's such a cool moment. Spencer, why do you think the Tuscans took the trouble to train Fett?
I mean, if you saw after the first episode where he fought the Harryhausen lizard,
right?
He proved himself to them that he's strong-willed, and he was not just going to lay down and die being captured by them. So they probably said, okay, he made the youngling one look great because he saw with the head of the lizard, the child was like saying, I did this, but the chief's like, yeah, I know who did it, but you can have some water. So he proved his weight. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that they're kind of feeling like there's something with him there that he's not. Why not? I mean,
now we see the Pikes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pikes we haven't seen since Solo.
Correct.
They appeared. Actor Details played Key Tolsite in Solo, where Kira takes him down on Kessel, and so now we get to see him all live action again. This is so cool. D is a very, very good friend of mine, and really taught me some of the ways of creature performing. He's a great guy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's based in the UK. So so seeing the Pikes seem like they're pretty brutal as well. Oh, this is such a cool scene.
Oh yeah. It kind of harkens a little bit to the Mando episode where he's assaulting the Sandcrawler, but still a lot of classic Western stuff as well.
Right.
Also the scene in Mando with the episode with Bill Burr.
Yes, I was gonna say that the refinery when they were bringing what was it? Something to the refinery. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, the explosive whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That same thing. They're running along the tops of cars, moving cars. Oh my gosh, look how cool this is. The action in this episode is so awesome. I love it. Wow.
Yeah, and he needs nothing. He's just got the gaffy and he's
I know. See, Boba all this time has been reliant on his gadgets and equipment, right? Jetpack, gauntlet missiles, knee missiles, stuff like that. And so So to learn this new way of fighting is so cool. And also, you know, to Tamura's own heritage with the Maori people, it just fits so well, and that's why he's the right person to be playing Boba Fett in this series.
So did you see the flowing dreadlocks?
Yes, that visual is so cool.
So is this Tusken warrior with the long wraps? Is this Joanna Bennett? I'm only seeing 2 Tuskens credited: the chief, which is Xavier Jimenez, and then Joanna Bennett as Tusken warrior.
Well,
or do we know?
I don't know if she's a stunt person. Or I apologize. I need to meet her and find out. But anyway, if
coaxium, hello, we just saw coaxium in the front train.
Right. That's right. And the Pikes in Solo were coaxium traders, right?
Yep. Coaxium and Spice.
Spice, yeah.
Yeah, and we, spoiler alert, find out about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So this droid, is this practical puppetry, CG? Do we know?
That looks practical. I didn't see that one in person, but oh no, blam. Oh.
I was gonna say this now, and I've been saying this a lot on the show, and I want more Crimson Dawn. I'm just gonna keep on saying that to anybody who listens to me. I'm a huge fan of Crimson Dawn, and anything that has to do with Solo and seeing any sort of Easter eggs from Solo makes me just very happy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you were just looking for a Kira cameo, or
that's a given, but that's besides the point.
But no, I love how this a minute ago how they passed like the bantha herd, like hearkening to like buffalo all across the way.
Yeah, right.
Tatanka.
Yes, dances with wolves, right back to.
Yeah, so many of our droids that are not worn are puppeteered by legacy puppeteers and are made practically. So I would say, yeah, that one is practical until this point.
Until it goes out the window and then it's CG.
I forgot to mention that Moshe Oz, the Hammerhead earlier, was puppeteered by John Rosengrant.
Yeah, right. Had one of
runs Legacy.
Yeah,
and he did the Cyclops in season 2.
That's right. John
Leguizamo voiced.
Yes, at who was right at the fight with the Gomorian Guards. Yeah. Yes, I work with John and really like working with him. I see him all the time on set.
Oh, here's a question for Mr. Notman. Chris, did you ever see Tamura do the Maori haka on the set?
Hang on. He would do it as part of his warm-up. I was just trying to remember if it was on set or so the day that I realized he's on the show, which is the first day of filming, he was doing like a warm-up. He was doing kind of a little his haka warm-up. So anyway, it was I did sneak a video of him doing that just so I could
nice.
I won't be sharing that one though.
No.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing the Pike without their mask and actually seeing
right?
like a fish face.
Yeah.
And with Fett almost like on the throne right there, holding court.
Oh, look at that. This is the first. Yeah, that's a great point. This is the first time we would see him presiding. Right.
Yeah. The only thing weird about this is that looks like a Starfleet uniform.
Which one?
the lead Pike is wearing.
Oh.
Hey, we don't hawk the Trek.
I just did. They're asking for a timestamp. We're at about 35:42-ish.
what does spice look like?
Right. He just mentions, yeah, Spice Mines the Kessel. So clearly, yeah, these guys work for Quay Tollsite, the Pike in Solo, played by D Tails. Since he ran the spice mines there on Kessel.
I love the fact that he sets up a toll now. It's like the Tuscans run the sands.
Yeah.
Right. Now
And
they will
Boba's
get
just
the
go ahead.
Tuscans will get their what they're owed for traveling through their lands, I guess. You know, you can't just run through their lands and
Right.
terrorize them. They live there.
Now walk, and they all look up. What?
Yeah, yeah.
And single file, just like a Tuscan.
Uh-huh. You're in their land, you act like they do.
Get the hell off our land. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're each getting a black melon. Awesome.
Right.
And the biggest, like, screw you, they puncture a hole right in the water car. You see
Yeah.
their water going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just are surprisingly wasteful with that for no apparent reason. I don't know.
On Tatooine, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they were,
"Oh."
it's meant, I'm sure, you know, you've seen people in third world countries who, you know, where maybe humanitarian efforts go in and share supplies, food, rice, or water, and everyone is so happy and grateful for it. I'm sure it's something to look like that.
Something,
That's
and,
kind
and it's somewhat celebratory as well. It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
water. We're letting, yeah.
Oh, here we go. There are many different Tuscan tribes.
Oh, yes.
We've stayed hidden.
That's kind of remind me of like those scenes like you would see like back in the 70s and 80s when the kids are so hot in the streets of like New York City and someone would go and open up a fire hydrant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Off-worlders have machines. And I love how they incorporated the sign language from Troy
Yeah,
here as well.
right. As opposed to him like learning their language.
Correct.
Yeah, I thought this is a more plausible way that he's communicating with them. Okay, I had no idea what was going on here with the lizard. I don't think Boba did either. Boba's like, oh, fun, nice, little pet. Great, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to hawk the Trek. The first thing I thought about when I saw the scene was Khan. Like
Yes.
what they did with Chekhov with that little bug in Wrath of Khan.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
These pets, slightly domesticated, curls around.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I swallowed it.
You know, this is like a sweat lodge. You know, you go in and you take the whatever the herb is, and then you start to reach some dream state.
Or licking a toad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't even thought of it that way. Yeah, it's very much.
You know, where you. Yeah. So now he goes off on his own.
It's almost like a dream quest.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then what does he see? The Tuscans hinted to it. They said once the oceans dried up. So Tatooine used to be.
There has to be an oasis somewhere.
An actual sea, right?
Yeah, and see this whole part, I'm like, how much is he just completely high and dreaming?
Uh-huh.
How much of this? But then, you know, when he returns with the stick, some of this was real.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the Jawas eyes there.
And then you get the flashback to almost of the Sarlacc, of him climbing out of the Sarlacc.
Yeah, the tentacles around him, right? Yeah.
And you even see the spines that, you know.
Yeah,
detail, the calling back to that.
right.
It reminds me a little bit of the Devil's
Okay.
Snare from Harry Potter.
Oh, my wife would love that reference.
Mm.
And we see young
Daniel,
Boba.
You know,
right?
Oh, cool. That's a really cool new scene.
Lila says, "I hope people aren't influenced and start snorting lizards after."
Look at that. Wow. The explosion of the ocean
Yep.
back to the Dune Sea.
And now we know how God's name.
Now, you may be aware of this, but Tamura helped design his own gaffy stick. Did you know that?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he wanted a longer and more slender gaffy stick so that he could fight in a way that he was more familiar with his own heritage. So it's a longer, more slender weapon. Yeah, that he helped design.
That's incredible.
Yes. I just love that, again, that he gets to bring his heritage into this story, and it has so much more richness to it. Look how the little mastiff is all familiar with him now. He's not barking at him anymore. He's just sniffing him like, "Oh, can you pet me?"
Oh, and then and that I totally didn't expect. The coming back out, the going that was one surprise, but then it comes what?
What a relief that must have been. Yes. Show me the branch. Boba shows him the branch that he took from
this must be such a treat for him, especially coming from playing Django 20 some odd years ago to getting his own show playing his son.
Right. No, he maybe you'll have him on one day, but I know that he very much appreciates this. He does not take it for granted, and he is very serious about this character to do a good job and to bring his to tell his story with his own heritage. So this moment right here is very almost religious, right?
Yeah.
A ceremony where they're dressing him in their traditional robes and wrappings, almost like a
almost looks like tefillin from like the Orthodox Jews would wear around.
Right, like a ceremonial sacred covering. And look at all the textures and everything. That's so cool.
And now he's a Sith.
Okay. I like that they didn't have a mask for him, that they had to put a mask on. That they accepted him as himself. But look at him. Oh, he's so cool.
He's like smiling. He's like Sprickle's like, yeah, check me out.
Yeah.
I'm GQ.
Look at him with his bandoliers and
yeah, and he's just like, I don't need this hood. I'm good.
And then the little kid is like, look, you're one of us. And he looks up to him like like a big brother.
Yeah.
I thought that's cool. Okay, this scene right here is straight out of a Ralph McQuarrie painting. So if you go look up Ralph McQuarrie Tuscan, this shot right here is almost totally from that painting, with that ship's hull there to the side and the Tuscan in the foreground. So now you have like this is like the Tuscan blacksmith or Tuscan woodsmith, I guess.
Carpenter.
There you go. That's what you call a woodsmith, carpenter.
Well, if you want to think about it, part of the religious aspect of it, you got the whole Joseph of Nazareth being.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I was just thinking this was like your Rocky training montage.
Right.
But
But I like
Okay,
how
you just saw Cobra Kai season 4, didn't you?
It's a montage. You gotta have
yeah. I like that he's making his own, just like what actually really happened. I mean, he came up with the design anyway, but that they're making Fett, make his own weapon.
That's awesome.
See how skinny it is and how long it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different than the one in A New Hope.
So we have a question from our member John again. And who would win in a bare knuckle Sass fight between 3PO and K2SO?
Bare knuckle what fight?
Sass fight. Like who would be more sassier?
Oh, sassier. That's funny. I think 3PO would come out on top on that one.
Really?
Yeah. K2 is he's ex-Empire droid. He's got a great personality. But I think 3PO is programmed for this. He's not programmed for battle or guarding anybody or anything like that. He's all etiquette and protocol, which would be way too much sass for K2.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so I love this.
You'll appreciate this, Jonathan. I think Anthony Daniels has got Tudyk anyway.
Yeah.
He's British. He's just, and
Right.
Tudyk's just got to take it.
Yeah, true. So
I love this dance.
Yes, this is so traditional to I think to Tamora's culture.
Oh, that's very cool that they've added kind of Maori elements to.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're right, this is very Haka-esque.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more kind of moving around, but that kind of thing.
This is so see the group together doing it. That is so cool. And doesn't it totally even the music here sounds Haka-esque. But when you see the Tuscans like this, doesn't it make you doesn't it fill kind of their backstory in such a rich way that's not just like, oh, they're monsters, they walk like men, but they're monsters and they just kill men and women and children,
it absolutely does. You see the other side. I mean, it also reminds me, we were talking earlier about the Bill Burr episode when they finally get in and we always cheer. It's like we were always laughing about the fact that all the Imperial troopers are all cheering, like, yeah, high-fiving, let's go grab a beer kind of scenario. Like you see a different side of them, which is actually, you give them a little more sympathy than what the original impression was, that they were monsters, they were evil, they were villainous, they try to hurt Luke,
I mean, they are right, they're humans, they're human beings, and if you take that to the logical conclusion, you're going to have happy times and then you're going to have rough times. So it doesn't seem like they would just be all villains all the time.
Well, once again, everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. We had a wonderful group coming with us. Chris, thank you so much for coming back to your virtual cantina. This was absolutely a treat, especially with an episode that was, it's mind-blowing. I've read a lot of articles from people saying that this one episode basically gave them the love of the original trilogy all over again, which was absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
So
I love the richness of this episode, and the action and the stunts and fighting were done so well. And we got to see a broad range of, like, half of it was, or part of it was, present time, and part of it was a flashback. But, I feel like we wanted to see this kind of backstory on the Tuscans, wanted to know more about them without knowing too much, and I thought it was just so well done. So anyway, if you again, if you remember the character there that I play in the cantina, just pay attention anytime we go back to that cantina. That's we may or may not see more of that character.
Well, that just gives you an excuse to come back when that happens and talk more about what you've done. So I'm just
Dave,
right now.
That is an understatement. you when you know what I know.
Oh.
So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys asking me to be on today. It was such a pleasure to be on here with you, and I love analyzing the show and with you guys and hear your points of view and hear the questions. The questions are awesome. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Chris, and we hope to have you again sometime during the season. So once again, thank you very much to our guest, Chris Bartlett, tonight. Just a couple of notes. We will have this episode up on the VCN within the next day or so. Dave, would you probably say?
I would say hours.
Okay, hours. So if you came in late and want to catch in, we will have that up on the VCN. Also, Dave, why don't you plug the Unifying Force for this Sunday again?
Again, Sunday coming, the Unifying Force is we're going to talk becoming one with the Force, death and dying in the Star Wars universe. We're probably going to talk a little bit about this episode, that we're seeing more about the Tuskens, reverently burning their dead as they do that. Is that's a recurring kind of theme in the Star Wars universe. So we're probably going to talk about this episode and more. So
excellent. And also want to remind everybody that if you saw our Alderaan Idol Bunta Eve racing shirt, it is on sale until the beginning of February. As you know, the Bunta Eve Cantina is our Celebration Eve event that is going to take place at the Biggs Bar and Grill in Fullerton, which is about 10 minutes away from Anaheim. And as we mentioned last week, that the Shoe Girls will be appearing at our event, which is going to be a lot of fun. Super fun. If you guys are able to make it, that would be absolutely fantastic. But once again, Chris, thank you so much for joining us again tonight.
Thank you, guys. Happy to come back anytime.
Excellent. So from Chris, from Dave, I'm Spencer. May the Force be with you.
This is the way.